They said it was impossible. They said, you can't put together the most elite team of comic book reviewers on the planet and do, a podcast or something like that. Despite all that, today we can proudly announce, yeah, they were right. We couldn't do it. So instead, we brought you the most vile, ignorant, unprofessional group of comic book enthusiasts we could find. This is Panel to Panel, the Game Rage Magazine comic podcast. Another fine episode, of Panel to Panel. My name's Josh. I'm here today with good buddy Adam, and we're going to be talking about the end or the finale of V For Vendetta. Such a sad day for Game Rage, therefore the world.
Do you remember that thing people would do because Bloods don't like using the C word? Mm-hmm. In any word, so they'll fill it out with the B.
Yeah, I remember that.
So what if you do that with fucking V For Vendetta, where we just started filling
things in with V? Yeah. just randomly, right. Though, there's no specific letter that we're replacing it with.
It's no, the first letter.
Oh, it's always V?
Anything with the C, like
is
like
Crips.
A V?
Yeah.
They hate Crips and shit. It's always like right in the bussy or. I mean, that's not a good example. But can I have a Voke?
A Voke. Man, that's pretty good. I want to drive a Cadillac.
Cadillac, yeah.
Anyways,
that might actually be a series we read after this.
Yeah,
Cadillacs.
That's the next thing that we're gonna read is the. It's not a one shot, but it's a 3-shot of Cadillacs and dinosaurs. So
otherwise known as a mini series.
Yeah, there you go. Shut up. I'm tired. All right, go fuck yourself. This is gonna be a long night. Actually, it's not. It's gonna be pretty quick. But anyways, all right. Before we get into the finale for V For Vendetta, if you want to listen to more of our stuff, we encourage you. No, we demand you to go to YouTube and like, comment, and subscribe to the whole host of Game Rage content that exists upon there. If you want to follow us on social media, we will allow it if you wish to follow us at Game Rage Magazine on Instagram and TikTok, at Game Rage Mag on Twitter /X. If you want to follow Adam, you can follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram, and you can also go listen to the All Gas No Trash podcast. Additionally, if you like anime and manga, you should follow our good buddy Frank at anime_syndicate_podcast. No, he wants those Cheez-Its on Instagram.
I don't have any.
So,
excuse me, get out of my way.
Oh, fun fact.
Oh no, he's starting. Get pause it.
Oh, get the fucking melatonin. Here we go. Why, dude? He's been quiet like this whole time, and then as soon as we start, we're 4 minutes in, and he's losing his shit.
You know what's crazy? I think we Pavloved him into
wanting the fucking stuff.
Because every time we start recording, he gets a treat. He's like,
dude, what if he's addicted to the melatonin? Like, what if it's a drug to him? All right, hold on, I'll pause it. We'll give him some goddamn melatonin. All right, Cooper has been fucking hopefully satiated, and will be fast asleep. Rexy fucked up and ate one more than he should have, so he's probably gonna die. So nothing we can do about it now, other than just say, "Hey, Rex, it was nice knowing you," and yeah.
We already lined up your replacement.
Yeah, your replacement's coming. He's gonna be here next week.
With 7 to 10 business days.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. So V For Vendetta, number 10. Oh wait, I'm putting the wrong fucking images on the screen. All right, here we go. We get this cover of the Shadow Gallery. Well, it's the bottom of the Shadow Gallery that's in the fucking underground tunnel, and the blood.
Victoria Underground.
Yeah, subway, line, or whatever. And then we get the blood trail. And then we get this, 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 the blood trail. And
going into the thing, meaning that, V was actually shot by Finch or something to that effect. So, and then we get an opening up on the dead. It's funny how they fucking put the wristband on. They put the wristband on him. It's like, all right, you know who the fuck this guy is. Why do you? I get it for the purposes because his head's gone, so they, you need to have it on this for like everybody else. But yeah, so they put this. Cooper, shut up. They put the. Stop, dude. Jesus Christ. All right. Jesus. Hopefully that'll be problem solved. Anyways, we open up with the dear leader, Adam Susan.
Got his head fucking
got
blasted.
his head blown the fuck off. And they're torturing, what's her name, Mrs. Almond. And they're fucking pointing the V picture of V at her. And everyone's trying to... They're all in disarray. They're all like fucked up and everywhere. We've got old cuckboy Conrad fucking getting told about what's this and that. And oh man, and they're basically like, hey, sorry everyone, but we have to tell you that, our beloved leader has died of his injuries and a state of emergency.
Head fucking blown off. Of course he's fucking dead.
He's dead. A state of emergency is declared, and the task of maintaining order will pass to the Finger. So the Finger is now in charge, running the show. And they're like, hey, we need to get rid of this V guy. We need to figure out what this is. He says he's going to be here at midnight to provoke further disorder, no doubt. And then that's when old boy Finch shows up. And he's like, oh, he's dead. And then they're like, huh? Oscar looks and he shows them all fucking haggard and homeless looking. He's like, codename V. He's dead.
All laced up on fucking
LSD.
acid.
He's like, I shot him. And then we get Chapter 8, Vultures.
What a fitting title for somebody that just died. Adam Susan, the leader of the Northspire government, and all these guys are waiting to pick at his body so that they can assume the head of the new government that'll be taken over.
The second he died, the vultures were already picking at his bones. It's like, can't even let the man rest. Jesus. I mean, even though he was a piece of shit, but still, goddamn. So
everybody's asking like, well, did you really kill him? He's like, well, I suspected I did because he's bleeding all over the goddamn place. Or at least that's what I saw before I left.
Yeah, and basically they're like, hey, this dude's like out of his mind on drugs, so he's a boring and reliable little man, but he probably did do it. So we see it's interlaced between the what's her name?
Conrad Hayer.
Yeah, Conrad, and then
his
Helen Hayer. Helen Hayer. Yeah. So she's basically telling him like, okay, like this is what do we do after this now? All right. And then some guy shows up and says, oh, here's a package for you, Mr. Hayer. Here you go, buddy. And so they're going up, and she says, yeah, of course, Creedy thinks he is the one that's going to be in charge or whatever. Things need rearranging. I'll see you tonight. And who knows, you lucky boy, by tonight, I might be in quite a good mood, like finally inferring that he's going to get some of that ass.
Teasing him further with sex to become the new leader.
And as we are going through this scene, it's intercut. Every other panel is a picture of, the blood trail leading up to back to the Shadow Gallery or what have you.
Or I think it's coming down. Well, I mean,
going up and coming down. I don't know, whatever Either way, you just see the blood. Like they're letting you know, oh, this motherfucker he's fucked. All right, V is fucked. So now we got
Dominic Stone, and that's like
his partner, buddy, or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. And Mr. Finch is here, and he's like, "Listen, I know you're still all shook up, and from the drugs and whatnot." He's like, "We got to know, like, are you sure you killed him?" And he's like, "Yep, mortally wounded him. I know it." And he's like, "I mean, the amount of blood, he had to have been dead, man." But he's like, man, my back was turned. I didn't even know he was there. And then he's like, and when he like alerted me, I pulled out my gun out so slow. And then like he's grease lightning this fella. He could have got me. He could have taken me down. Why didn't he do it?
I don't know if this is like the first time that they've acknowledged that he's got whatever experiments they ended up doing on him. There's like a supernatural element to V.
Yeah.
But he's not a hero, so it's
right.
It's more complicated than that.
Yeah. So he's just like, man, dude's so fast. Like, fuck, he should have had me dead to rights, but he didn't. And so where did this all happen? And Vince is like, you know, I don't actually remember. Must be the drugs.
The wild thing is, it was just a coincidence that the shadow casted by the Victoria Underground subway line,
is a V.
It was positioned in a way that it looked like a V, and also even the V letter.
Yeah,
it's like the coincidence, the strangeness of him being able to find the lair of V.
Yeah.
By coincidence or happenstance, it's fucking weird.
It is weird. And then what's even crazier is Cooper fucking being an asshole again. Oh my god. All right, now we're back. So, oh my god, I got to just kill these raccoons. That's what I need to do. Anyways,
Send a cat after him.
Back to the story.
All right, so Conrad gets this
package, right?
Interesting package.
And what is it? It's
fucking
a
the
VHS
footage,
tape.
It's a VHS tape with his wife fucking Allie, the guy that's one of the new employees of the Finger, and he's just a con artist, a criminal.
Yep.
And he just sees his fucking all over the screens, all over the monitors for the eye. He's like, fuck my life, dude. My wife has been fucking me over. She's been dangling sex in front of me.
But then she fucks this criminal shitbag.
Yeah.
Terrible. So then we go back to London, and they're basically just fucking, everybody's rioting and looting, obviously, because now there's blood in the water. The government is having a crisis, and everybody's like, oh, cool, like, let's take advantage of this again and get some more free shit.
Yeah.
And so they're going on about the... Dude, relax, okay? They're basically saying, everything's under control. Everyone return to your homes. Everything's fine. Nothing to see here. Oh my god. All right, let's fucking just pause this again. Jeez. All right, I think we figured it out this time. I know I've said that like 3 times in a row, but hopefully this will be it. Oh, fuck. God damn it. All right, so we get... everything's fine. No problems here. Everyone go back to your lives. And we get...
fucking Creedy
talking to fucking old boy Allie, and they're basically...
Well, Allie's fucking... He's to do the job that he was assigned, which is to take care of Creedy. So the radio... He's like, let me turn on the radio so nobody can hear this fucking murder go on.
Yeah. And then he pulls out his fucking...
Switchblade.
Well, yeah.
Well, it's like a shaving...
Yeah, like
thing.
a shaving knife or whatever, or a shaving thing. And he's just like, oh, got a better offer, bitch. And then he fucking... He's like, oh, come on, man. He's like, he cuts his fucking face. He's like, just shoot me, man. Come on, don't even do that. And he's like, I'll stick with my Melky. I don't know what the fuck is it. I guess that's what it's called in British or fucking shitbag Scotland terms, I guess. I don't know.
But ironically, it says the insurrection is over when it's just fucking started.
It's just beginning.
So now Creedy's dead.
Yeah, and then it's funny because he's the one that's speaking on the fucking like message about this is emergency commander Peter Creedy speaking. Everything is under control, and now he's dead. The terrorist codename V has been mortally wounded, and there he is. You see Allie and his homies walking away, and you see his Creedy's hand fucking just in the frame. And then the thing's going on to say like, oh, if he's not appeared before midnight, we may assume he's dead. We repeat, the terrorist has been shot. Everything's over. Go back to your homes. Nothing to see here. And we go back into the shadow gallery and we see Eve. And V comes in. He's like, Eve. And she's like, oh, you're back. He just walked off after showing me that train. Where the fuck did you go? And he's just like, you can see all the fucking like bullet holes and shit.
I'm fucking dead, mate.
He's like, you gotta.
I'm dead.
And so he just fucking collapses over, and she's like, what the hell? And he's just like, listen. He's like, Eve, listen carefully. The one I waited for has called, and now I have not long. And he's like, she's like, oh my God, let me get the bandages. And he's like, no, listen, I'd be dead before you got back. And there's things you need to know. This country is not saved. Do not think that. But all its old beliefs have come to rubble, and from rubble may we build. That is their task, to rule themselves, their lives and loves and land. With this achieved, then let them talk of salvation. Without it, they are surely carrion. And she's like, oh no. She's like holding him, and he's like, oh God, please no. And he's like, by turn of century, they'll know their fate. Either a rose midst rubble blooms, or else has bloomed too late.
Which is funny because Eve made that choice in the garden when he was talking about let it bloom
or kill it. Yeah.
And she's like, no, let it bloom.
Let it bloom. So he says, but what of you, child? Now I'm dead. You're not gonna die. Hush. First you must discover whose face lies behind this mask. But you must never know my face. Is that clear? And I'm like, what the fuck is he trying to say? You have to know who he is, but not know who he is at the same time.
It's like you will know my face, but you won't know my identity.
Right, yeah. And so she's like, what the fuck are you saying? He's like, basically exactly that. And he's like, also, the Victoria line is blocked twixt Whitehall and St. James. Give me a Viking funeral.
All right. I've looked into this myself.
All right.
Because I've seen cliff notes for motifs, themes, metaphors, everything that's in the book. But nobody's actually talked about what the Viking funeral means. What do you think it means?
Well, to me, it's like, because with the symbolism of the whole Viking funeral itself, in Viking funerals, you take all of the person's belongings or anything that meant anything to them, and you put it in a boat, you send it off, and you douse it in fucking whatever flammable liquid you got, and then you take your flaming arrows and you shoot it until it fucking catches fire and then burns out. Or you do like a funeral pyre or whatever, which basically this is the equivalent of that.
Right.
Everything that meant anything to him is going to be destroyed, which this is the true end of the rebellion, that or the insurrection that he was causing. Now that has to die. He always was going to be the villain. Like, he never was going to come out of this a hero. He knew, and again, he planned this whole thing from the beginning.
Yeah.
So like, he must have planned this to happen to where he would be killed.
Yeah.
Because that's just what has to happen.
Yeah.
So, I mean, also at the end, the last chapter 10 is called Valhalla.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder, is obviously V was what it was for the, that was because the Roman numeral V is for 5 for the room that he was in.
Yeah.
But was that also V because that's the end game that he was gonna get? He was gonna get to fucking Valhalla by dying essentially a warrior's death because he fought the battles,
Yeah.
What's your theory? Or
I don't know if it's a theory.
Interpretation.
It's just that my interpretation is that, well, it's partially what you said in the beginning about this being the death of the old world.
Yeah.
And that specifically being depicted by Norse fire. Norse.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So in a poetic fashion, V goes out by a Viking funeral.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a fuck you to them. And it's a way with this government. It's a way with old ideologies. It's a way with everything. And it's a middle finger, but it's also like acknowledging human history is my theory about why he chose a Viking funeral, because it's to me, it's on the nose about Norse fire and Viking funeral, you know?
Yeah, true. So then we get into chapter 9 here, the vigil. And he's dead. Eve is on the stairs.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, V, you're almost finished, aren't you? And this is like playing back to that conversation that they had. It's like a flashback conversation.
Yeah, and funny to note that within that cropped fucking frame about the V, and she asked what it meant, and it's like, through life I know truth or some bullshit. Now she's coming to find out what that is for herself.
Yeah. And he's talking about how everything's all aligned, and except for one, or everything's in place. One may at last grasp their design, their grand significance, but almost finished? Yes, I suppose I am. And she's walking through, following the blood trail, and she goes through all the, what do you call it, TV shit that he had set up in there with all the extra things like the eye or whatever. And they're all going on about it's just that message repeating. And
right.
So she's walking down the stairs and she sees all the extra fucking Guy Fawkes masks, and then it zooms in on one.
Yeah.
In that last panel.
It almost parallels like the same madness pattern that he had in the V room at Larkhill, that everything has been staged for something to happen.
Yeah, and then we get this little flashback about where he was talking about anarchy wears two faces, both creator and destroyer. Thus, destroyers topple empires, make a canvas of clean rubble where creators then can build a better world. Rubble once achieved makes further ruins means irrelevant. Away with our explosive then, away with our destroyers. They have no place within our better world. But let us raise a toast to all our bombers, our bastards, most unlovely and most unforgivable. Let's drink their health, then meet with them no more. And this is all a flashback as she's walking through and seeing all the blood, because this is exactly what he was saying. Like, he told her this, hey, I am the villain, I'm the bomber. Like, yes, our new world I can't exist in the new world. Like, and that's kind of the issue with, I think, like, why revolutions that happen throughout history, when the people who did them generally become in charge again afterwards, it's always fucking some kind of like weird sketchy shit, because the mentality it took to destroy an empire is not the mentality to rebuild it. You have to have a completely different fucking mindset to do that.
It's weird. I feel like this is off topic, but tangentially related, because octopi, they kill themselves in order for their spawn to live, because like crabs eat their own shit.
Yeah,
I feel like the kind of parallels V's like, fuck man, I like, if this country is to survive, like I can't be the head of it. Like I can be somebody in tandem with it, helping or guiding, but I can't be the head of it. I know I have to die because I was the one that did the damage, and I sparked the ideas, but I can't be the person to lead, I suppose. Like what you were saying.
It's got to be someone else. Like it can't be the guy who destroyed it being the one to lead the country afterwards.
And the fucking blood, dude, it's like the gunpowder or the gasoline that he created, or the nitrate or whatever he was creating through the fertilizer.
Yeah,
it's all setting it up, man. It's fucking brilliant.
Yeah, and so then she's hearing his voice about the Viking funeral thing, and then saying about how you must discover whose face lies behind this mask, but you must never know my face. And she goes, no, that's not clear at all. I don't understand what the fuck you're saying. V, you wouldn't die and leave me in all this confusion, so you can't be dead. That's all there is to it. I'm going to walk up these stairs, and through that door, you'll be alive, and it will be just another mean trick, another part of my education. No hanging back, straight up the stairs, straight through the door. And then she goes in there and she's like, so, dead then? He's dead. He's not here. She's like, oh Christ, what happens next? You never said what you were educating me for. You never told me what I was supposed to do. And this is where, like, I'm saying about, like, he doesn't know what to do. That's the thing. He doesn't know how to do the next phase of the thing because he has the mentality of destruction. And he essentially pushed her down the path of, hey, you understand now why this had to be destroyed, but now you aren't the one that destroyed it, so now you need to go into the future and you need to build the new society or whatever. Yeah. But like he can't explain that to her because he doesn't know how to do that. He can't tell her how to build the next society. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and if anything, for sure, it's the do without wilt, right?
Yeah.
At the very least, he was trying to teach her self-reliance and independence, right? So if V told her all the steps, then she would never be the fostering hand for this new government. Because if she just followed the exact same orders, how is that any different from Adam Susan telling the entire Northfire government what to do?
Yeah.
So it's the do without wilt.
Yeah, basically. So then she goes and it's like she's imagining herself going and taking off the mask or whatever. So she goes over there, takes off the mask. And then, who the fuck is this? Is this anybody?
It's her father.
No, isn't this her father down here?
Oh, right.
Because I don't know if this is anybody right here in the first panel.
Fuck, I forgot.
Then the second panel, she goes and does it, and then the second panel, it's her father. And then she's like, no. She's like, you're not my father. But then she's like, what if it was just V? Like, what if you were just a nobody? Like, what if you were knowing that this was, or even if you're someone, you'll be smaller because of all the people that you could have been but weren't. Oh, I don't know what I mean. Just do it. And then she's like kind of hyping herself up to try to go and fucking pull off the mask. And then, oh no, wait, this is her father, right? Or no, who? Yeah, so then she takes off the mask again. And it's like she's trying to hype herself up to do it. And then she's thinking of all the people that it could be underneath that mask. And then when she goes down and she does it again this time, she pulls off her fucking the mask and it's her original, face. And she's like,
self.
Yeah, her 16-year-old self. And she's like, oh, now I know. I know who V must be. And then she walks over and she sits down in the thing and she looks at the mirror and she fucking does the little, like, the Guy Fawkes mask, like, smile or whatever.
Yeah.
And so then we forward to November 9th, 1998, 9:30 a.m. It's anarchy in the streets. Everybody's losing their shit still. And they're just out there. They're just waiting. Like, they're not terrorists. They're not followers of the terrorists. They're just rioting. Like, what the fuck, man? This guy's become some sort of like a symbol. And they're like, yeah, man. Yeah, it's Dominic and Finch. And he's like, yeah, Dominic, people need symbols. All right. This dude understood that. We forgot it. And he's like, the people outside lost families during the war. We've kept the lid on their bitterness for years, but we haven't helped them deal with it. Maybe he didn't either, but he certainly took the lid off. And that's all he needed to do, really. Just like Larkhill did for me. Everything's different now, Dominic. I don't belong here anymore. And he's like, you're going? Like, come on, man. It's just all the drugs, man. And he's like, I mean, really, it probably is the drugs, too. Because, like, I mean, when you do, like, LSD or, like, any kind of hallucinogenic, like, you have these experiences that, like, yeah, they can change your mentality and the way you think. And so he basically just says, look, man, Susan's dead. Creedy and Hare are picking apart his carcass. They're not hallucinations. The war wasn't either. I lost my family and thought following orders could fix it, but I know it can't. It's not going to do it. So I'm on my own orders now, buddy. The mayor's going to have my ass. And he's like, I'm getting out right now before all this shit blows up. And he's like, bro, he's like, you should too. And he's like, goodbye there, little buddy. Take care. And we go to chapter 10, the volcano. And we go outside and we got
Allie going to Helen Hare's house or Conrad's their home, and he's like, there's a tape set up, and Conrad starts walloping him with a fucking wrench, and then they have a little skirmish. And they're fucking duking it out because this guy fucked his wife.
Oh,
rightly
yeah.
so. I mean, that'd be the appropriate response.
Oh yeah, and he is they're fucking fighting like a motherfucker, and he just had the video playing in the background, just on repeat basically.
And his wife cooming.
Yeah, and
Which is, and funny enough, the chapter is called The Volcano. And
Yeah.
it's like this, you have all this anarchy erupting, or this chaos erupting, and she's cooming
yep,
on
and
this videotape.
yeah, and he kills Allie. He's dead. And then
Got, I don't know why the Les Miserables fucking posters in the background, but I'm guessing it's like isn't that fucking play about the French Revolution?
Yeah, it's just French. Yeah,
Yeah, so there we
it's
go.
probably
Yeah,
why.
that's why,
Yeah. And then Helen Hayer gets home and she's like, "Oh, you finally showed up. I've been looking around London for your ass." And she's just basically talking shit. And then she walks in, and then the fucking TV's like this, like, you know, the static. And she sees this motherfucker's dead body laying there. And he's like, "Oh, Helen, I won. I was the best man. He's dead. He won't come back between us anymore. Oh, he cut me though, and he's fucking bleeding out of his fucking neck, and he's like, I think he hit a vein, but you can get me a doctor, you know. We've been through a bad patch, but we can still." And he like reaches up to grab her hand, and she's like, "Don't touch me, you stupid piece of shit."
Yeah.
And she's like, "You ruined this whole fucking thing." She's like, "Now how are we gonna control the finger?" Like, she's like, "Jesus Christ, I had it all planned out." And he's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "I'm looking for something. I know it's here somewhere." "Oh, I found it." He's like, "Helen, I'm bleeding out. I'm bleeding out. Very, very bad. I need a doctor." And she's like, "Oh, no, you don't. I know what you need, Conrad. I've always known what you need. You need to watch. Don't you, Conrad? You need to watch in your work, in your bed. Well, I've got something you're going to love. There, Conrad, my parting gift. Watch that." And it's just a camera of him, and it's looked up to the TV. It's just him dying, basically. He's going to watch himself fucking die. And so then... This is back to Dominic, right?
Yeah.
And now, yeah, so now Dominic's in charge, basically. And he's like, I don't know what the fuck to do, man. He's like, Jesus Christ, like, everybody's going around. He's like, they're like, "Oh, it's nearly 12 now." And he's like, "There's Big Ben striking the hour now. Lovely, reassuring sound, don't you think?" And he's like, "Hey, wait a minute. Big Ben got blown up fucking a year ago." And then they're like, "Oh, the speakers, it's coming out of the speakers. That means somebody must be..." And then we see the V fucking, a miniature V, with the V symbol. And obviously we know it's fucking Eve under there. And
What the fuck is up, London?
what's going on? You're now in hell. And, oh no, fucking, if you smell to the millions, and then all the people in London and millions. That'd be fucking crazy. But then basically it's her coming out saying, "Good evening, London. I would introduce myself, but truth to tell, I do not have a name. You can call me V. Since mankind's dawn, a handful of oppressors have accepted the responsibility over our lives that we should have accepted ourselves. By doing so, they took our power. By doing nothing, we gave it away. We've seen where their way leads, through camps and wars towards the slaughterhouse. In anarchy, there is another way. With anarchy, from rubble comes new life, hope reinstated. They say anarchy's dead, but see, reports of my death were exaggerated. Tomorrow, Downing Street will be destroyed, the head reduced to ruins, an end to what has gone before. Tonight you must choose what comes next, lives of our own or a return to chains. Choose carefully, and so, adieu." And then she's gone, disappears, and everybody is like, just, "Oh, what the fuck?" Like, they got these shocked looks on their faces, and then they're like, "Fuck it, let's rush the buildings." And so then they all just basically start rushing the guards, start beating everybody's ass. And who the fuck is this guy? Is this
That's Dominic.
Oh yeah, he got fucked up, right?
Yeah.
So she grabs him. So she grabs Dominic, and it's like the V face is all wavy because like he's like passing out because
He's concussed or some
heavily.
shit.
So then we go to November 10th, 2 a.m. and the real V, I guess you could say, is being laid up in the fucking train or the subway or whatever. And she's like, well, give me a Viking funeral, you said. That isn't much. That isn't much to ask. Not after all you did. You came out of an abattoir unharmed, but not unchanged, and saw freedom's necessity, not just for you, but for us all. You saw and seeing dared to do. How purposeful was your vendetta, how benign, almost like surgery. Your foes assumed you sought revenge upon their flesh alone, but you did not stop there. You gored their ideology as well. The people stand within the ruins of society, a jail intended to outlive them all. God damn, man, that's like a deep ass fucking like society is the prison. Like society is the fucking matrix holding you back essentially. The door is open. They can leave or fall instead to squabbling and then new slaveries. The choice is theirs as ever it must be. I will not lead them, but I'll help them build, help them create where I'll not help them kill. The age of killers is no more. They have no place within our better world. Give me a Viking funeral, you said. It's yours, my love. And then we get chapter 11, Valhalla. And then she puts him in like a glass fucking coffin or whatever thing. And then all the flowers and shit are in there and everything. All the explosives are all boxed up. And then she fucking sends it off. Away you go with all your gelignite and lilies. How much explosive was there on that train? I never thought to count the packages. It's probably enough.
And look at this shit, dude.
Oh yeah.
The V shape.
The V shape, goddamn. It's everywhere. You said that the Victoria line was blocked twixt Whitehall and St. James. I checked, and yes, it's there. There's rubble sealing off the line. Give me a Viking funeral, you said. I have 4 minutes left to take the elevator to the roof. Easy now. To find my way around. Upon your guided tour, you showed this place to me and said it was your will. I didn't understand, not then. But you were right, of course, about this place. You did show me your will, and I'm sole beneficiary. It's 2:14. You're almost there. Now speeding on your funeral barge along dry subterranean canals, down through the dark towards your destination, where the line is blocked twixt Whitehall and St. James. And then she takes off the Guy Fawkes mask right under Downing Street, and then looks out, and this shit just fucking explodes. Ave atque, I don't know how to say that. Ave atque vale. I looked it up. Hail and farewell. Descending now to claim my heritage, I think about the task ahead, so vast, so vital, and so difficult. I feel elated, wild, enthusiastic, but not scared. There isn't time for fear for me or anyone. We've things to do, people to see. And then she goes and she wakes up Dominic. He's like, where am I? Oh, Jesus. And she's like, oh, welcome, young man. I trust you are recovered quite from your ordeal. As for your question, we are in the Shadow Gallery. This is my home. And then we cut to Finch, and then the explosion happens, and then he turns around, and he looks, and he sees his, he looks at his watch, and he's like, ah, damn. And he turns out his fucking thing, and he's like, come on, Jeannie. There's some people in the background yelling, and they're like, not street people, but they're like, I don't know, rioters or looters or whatever, and they're looking for food and shit. And so basically,
Helen Hayer is part of the group. She's been offering sex to
get
basically stay
food,
alive. Yeah.
And so Finch he's like, Mrs. Hare? And she's like, oh, Edward Finch. Oh, I'm so glad I see you. The mob turned my car over on the way out of London and took everything. I've had to shelter with these louts just for protection. But now you're here. That's different. Oh, I've always known you weren't like Conrad or Almond or the others. Oh, you're like me. You're a survivor. Eddie, we need each other. Together we can salvage something. We could build, give us some time. We could build a small army and we could restore order. And we could, we could do this all. What do you say? And he's just like, nah. And he's like, I don't want that shit. And then she calls him the fucking homo, basically. She calls him a queer.
Which is funny because Adam Susan was talking about in the previous issue about how he had hallucinations or weird ideas in his head about black men rubbing against each other. So he's probably gay. And then that Louis Prothero guy was fucking gay.
Everybody, all of them were gay. And so then she basically tells him he's gay, and she's like, "Oh, you bastard police! You're all queers! God damn you!" And they're like, "Oh, come on, sit down with us." Like the little fucking the homeless or fucker or whatever those ruffians are taunting her back, and then Finch just keeps on walking, and he lights his pipe, and he just basically walks his ass out of town, and that's the fucking end of the goddamn fucking thing.
Yeah. If I had a personal opinion, I think it should have ended with Dominic and V talking.
Yeah.
Or Eve talking. I feel like that would have been a little bit of a better ending than to have
they should have
fucking
switched.
Finch. That should have been flipped and then and end on that note.
Yeah. That would have been better.
That was the fucking end of the book. But.
Man, that was this whole series was very good, man.
All right. I also have a weird conspiracy theory.
All right, yeah, let's hear it.
About why the person's name, well, rather, Evie's name is Evie.
Okay.
This is the delusions of fucking V right here, right? E's the fifth letter in the alphabet.
Okay.
So going with like the Roman numeral 5.
Oh.
It's like
Yeah,
she
okay.
was almost destined to be V.
Yeah.
But
Also, she's Eve. Because she was Evie, and then when she grows up, or when she truly becomes an adult, she becomes Eve. Which, if you look in the biblical deal of that, I mean, she's going to rebuild this new world as one of maybe Dominic and Eve are the Adam and Eve of like this new world or whatever you want to call it.
True.
They're now the Garden of Eden is now a blank canvas.
Yeah, they had a big bang with V passing away, and now that they have a new canvas, this is the new world.
Yeah.
Fucking interesting.
Very fucking interesting. But anyways, goddamn, man, that was a good ass book. I'm sad it's over. That movie fucking sucks, man. That movie, I used to like that movie. It's trash compared to the comic, man. Like, they fucked it up.
The fact that Eve becomes V.
Yeah.
EV.
Electric vehicles? What? No.
I think it's such a to just have her send, like in the movie when they send V on his way to die or to explode in it, whatever, and that's just how the movie ends with the fireworks. Like, man, what a shitty ending, dude. She ends up becoming fucking V, and then they already have the next person in line to become fucking.
Man,
great.
You'd think they would have milked it and they would have done that, and then they would have made like 2 or 3 sequels after that, just shit that didn't happen in the comics, and everybody would have went to go see it.
Yeah.
Damn, that's terrible. Fucked up.
But anyways, fuck, man. What a great series.
Indeed.
Especially with all these political times and the fucking election on the way. I thought I was like, what good timing to read this fucking book just before an election.
Yep, indeed. So we finished it right before we may have to do this in real life. So now we know.
Yeah.
Anyways, all right, that'll be it for us. You got anything else to add?
Nah.
All right, if you want to hear more of our stuff, go to YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe to Game Rage Magazine on YouTube. You can also go to Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. You can follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official, and you can follow Frank at anime_syndicate_podcast. All right, we're done. Catch you on the next one the next one's Darth Vader, but then after that, when we do the next round of the 4 comics, Cadillacs and dinosaurs. Hell yeah. We're going to switch it up from fucking a deep philosophical thing to like basically tits and like fucking violence and dinosaurs. Like just over the top shit. Like, yeah, this is going to be crazy. All right. Catch you guys on the next one.
That was Panel to Panel, the Game Rage Magazine comic book podcast. Thanks for listening. If you want to know more and follow along, go to Instagram and TikTok. Follow at Game Rage Magazine. If you want to follow on Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Tune in next time.